So in the review again, we have main. Main pretty much, what do we have? We said class main extends application. Extends is inheritance concept in Java. So that means application is a class, and I have a new class named main. So main pretty much is an application. So inheritance create is a relationship because it is, right? It is an application. It's inherited from application. Okay. Now in JavaFX we have the method start. You may see this is override to the application. Pretty much this start actually being an abstract method of application. Or we can check it if I just click on application.java, I see application.java code. I just wonder if start is an abstract or not because it can be implemented already. So it's an abstract. You see that? Public abstract void start primary stage, right? So it's an abstract. So that's why I need to override that method in order to, you see, this is exactly the same as the method header, right? Stage, primary stage, throw exceptions, and they start to implement it here. All right, I want you to compare this to my Android project. So I'm going to create a new project, right? IntelliJ. And we have Android here. Make sure you get the IntelliJ version with Android. I'm going to leave it as using Gradle. Next. And this is where you start to type your application name. My first Android app. Right. I'm going to leave module name as the same. Maybe just name my first app. And package name is going to change right to the module name and application name with the com.example. We can change if you want, like if you change the package name to edu nvcc csc 201, something like that. And this is just the minimum required SDK. We will leave as default as well as the target. So this is just the version of Android, the older one 2.3 and target 5.3. And language level we use 6. Theme a little light with dark action bar. I'm gonna leave them as default. Okay. And create activity. And then now some of you, when you click on this and click next, may not see this screen because you need to tell IntelliJ where your Android SDK is. Like most likely if you first time install and launch IntelliJ, you see that. So what you need to do, just there's going to be 2 rows, I think, and there's a button with a ... that you can browse. Click on that button. Okay. And let me show in that case. Okay, you don't have to follow this. I just want to show what you look like for the case of people who not seeing that screen. Like I said, don't have to follow this. This is just a sample that it should have a dialog box like dot 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 like that, right? To find the SDK, it should say that. Then when you click, you pretty much just do this C colon to your users and your login name, username. Now you have to type the app data again, pretty much so to the same path, right? That we have our SDK Android in store right there. And then you can just hit OK. Okay, and it should fill that field for you. And then just hit next, and then technically at that point you should have the same screen like this. All right. Now, first app. Okay. Next. This one we're going to, this is for the like wearable devices, like if you have like smartwatch, you try to write program for it, then you can use this. So we're going to do the blank activity for now. Okay. Like the other one, blank wearable activity, so that's for wearable devices. Empty activities. And if you want to do something with Google Maps, you can do that too. Google Maps activities, so that's with the template. So we just do the blank activities. Next. And we're gonna leave the activity name main activity here. Okay. And this is the layout. It's gonna link to the XML layout, pretty much just like what I show you on JavaFX, right? Scene builder. So this is the same, this XML file here. We just leave as default, click next, and this is the location where you're gonna put your Android project, my first Android app. Under username and idea projects folder. Finish. We're going to launch a new window, so now we should have the project by double click this. Now let's expand the folder. So it's pretty much just create. Just like when we do the JavaFX, they have a bunch of other files and folder dependencies for you. So let's start to look at the project, which is first app. Okay, so we have source. So source is where you're gonna have your packages that you created, Android test, right? My first Android app, right? So that's the packages. And under main, this is where we gotta look at, which is your main activities, right? So now let's look at when I create, it depends on how I check that options. So you see, if I leave the option that I checked before, it's pretty much just create this for you, like main activity on create options menu and so on. right? So if I create a new project again, okay, and this time I'm going to leave it as default, my application 3. I'm going to do empty activity here, right? Before I do blank activity, right? Now I'm going to do empty activity, main activity, right? Finish, new window. So let's see what we get this time. So you see we don't have that test folder. I just have direct app source. Yeah, test is in here. So we want to look at our Java code, which is your main activity. See that? So if I have empty, then it's not including other code. So it depends on the template, right? So other code pretty much is going to load the menu for you, which we will compare later. But this time, I prefer you to actually just get it empty first because you're very new to this. Okay. Now, then it's going to have the minimum code for us to read, then we understand. So this is the package name, right? Just like when you compare back to JavaFX, we do have package, and then, I mean, create Java package. Any Java have the package. We can just add the package keywords, right? We talk about that. And these are the import statements, right? So we're going to import things that we need, like now this is the main activity, is the class name. You can always change the name, which we extend from activity. Activity is android.app activity class. So that means main activity is extends from activities becomes what? Main activity is is an activity. So I have an access to the method of activity, which is same as JavaFX. We have start, we just look at, right? So this is going to be on create, right? And if you are writing it, like if you look at, we pretty much just overwrite the abstract again, right? So on create, pretty much the abstract of the activity. So similar to JavaFX that we were looking at earlier. Let me just pull it back up. My FX. But JavaFX is just start. This one is just on create. Now, let's keep reading. So now we said we want to pass the saved instance. This is just the instance name, saved instance data, right? I mean instance state, right? It's just an instance of the bundle. So bundle is pretty much just the package of Android OS bundle. We import that into use. Okay. So technically what it's trying to say that on create, we just going to just get the save instance state, get the last state, something like that, right? So super, what's super? Super in the inheritance concept means I actually, if you look at main activities extends from activities, so main activity is the child, right? And main activity happen to have the method name on create, right? So that means activity, if I want to access to the method of on create of activity or the parent, how will I do that? I have to refer to super, because if I don't have super, it's actually refer to itself right there, right? So, which I don't want that. I want it to refer to the parent, so that's why I use super.onCreate. So super refer to the method of the parent that has the same name, right, on the student. Now set content view is pretty much just linked to the view. And this is the activity underscore main r.layout. So it's going to be under rest